Norma Quarles, the NBC News representative on the panel tonight. How did it look to you from up there, up close?
I thought it was a draw. I was surprised to hear that so many people were saying that she lost. And we thought, not only me, another panelist, Bob Boyd, we thought it was a draw.
And how about you, Roger? What was your reaction to the debate tonight?
Still a matter of expectations. I thought everybody thought Mrs. Ferraro would kind of bebop around and, you know, hop and skip and jump. And when she didn't, it came across as being subdued. I thought it was generally boring.
And John, how about you?
Jackie Robinson went on the field for the Brooklyn Dodgers in 1947 in his first day as a black in the major leagues. He was 0 for 3 at bat. He was pretty good at first base, and he made history. A first woman did this tonight, and I think she made history.
Well, that's true. We've never seen anything quite like this in American politics. However you come down on either side, Bush or Ferraro. For all of us at NBC News, I'm Tom Brokaw. We'll have further details on this tomorrow morning.
I'm Bryant Gumbel. Tomorrow morning on Today, we'll look to the fallout of the Bush-Ferraro debate.
I'm Jane Pauley. I'll report on the end of an era. No more trips down Route 66.
Tomorrow morning on Today.
From the World Series to the presidential debates, NBC News is there. When you want news from across the nation and throughout the world, turn to NBC Nightly News.
And for 15 days...
Name Delia Simmons, age 75. Problem, chronic bronchitis. The state of California helps her with the medicine and doctor's bills, but now that help is threatened by Proposition 41. It would hurt our elderly, blind and disabled, increase health care costs for everyone, and provide no tax relief.
I don't know how in the world we'd ever do it without this help.
People like Delia Simmons deserve better. Will we abandon them?
And how's the new apartment?
It's great, Mom. You gotta come up and see it. In fact, I'm having my first dinner party.
You're having a dinner party?
Yeah.
Whether you live out of town or just a few minutes away.
There's so much left to say.
Actually, the reason I called was, how do you bake a potato?
Don't drift away.
KGET TV, Bakersfield.
This is the NBC.
Close together, and we were going to spend the night, take it time about with each one. So that was a happy occasion when we made our first trip to California.
I sing the song. I sing the song.
Is it still on?
I love you. I love you. I love you.
Stand over here, Ben.
I love you. I love you.
Well,
we
numbers are way
go
off.
down the street, down the train,
Look, it should rewind.
down the street, and down the train. Go down the street, down the train. We are going, going, no one.
Yeah.
We are going.
Hey, Larkin, you can do that tomorrow on the show.
Why don't you ask Grandma?
Sit down and talk to Grandma
We
again.
are
Larkin,
going.
ask Great Grandma about her dreams, the dream story.
Go sit down.
What about your dream?
Your dream. Did you? Oh, well, that was just.
Go sit down, Larkin.
I don't think I could tell it all. It'd be too sad, so I better not tell it. But anyway, that's the one that I told one time. But it was about a little Quaker girl, and she dreamed one night she died and went to heaven. And so one of the angels came, and they had a measuring stick, and they measured, you know, the good things that she had done. So the first one that came before her was a highfalutin lady of the town. Well, they thought she'd measured real high because she was well thought of lady, but said she was, her measure was real low. but they kept a measuring people, and some of them would go up and some down. So finally there was a little man that came, and so they knew that nobody thought much of him, and he wouldn't measure very much, but said that measuring stick just went way up, and said he had did so many good deeds to other people that he measured more in the side of the angel than anyone else. So that shows us that we could, you know, be little, but still amount to a lot if we do the right things. And so that girl then woke up and she said, well, she said, my measuring wasn't very high either, but said, I've got another year to try in. And said, next year, I hope my measure will be higher. So I think that's a good thing for us to all think about. Maybe next year we'll have, you know, more to do or say for ourselves.
Good one, wasn't it?
Now who wants to talk? Me? Something?
Me?
You want to? Okay. I love.
Who do you love?
One time when Loretta was a baby, I was sitting on the porch holding her.
Listen, still, Grandma
And
something about me.
we had a shelf in the kitchen, and it fell. And it almost scared me to death. So I jumped off of the porch. It was a good thing I had Loretta up my arm. So I run to the field where Willie was at. And so he hollered at me. He said, I know what's wrong. He said, that shelf has fell. So that's what happened that time.
Tell about when she was stuck in the jar.
So many things happened.
Who got stuck in the jar?
Huh?
Who got stuck in the jar?
Loretta.
How'd she do that?
Well, she got in there and sit down. She got in the jar and sit down. It was about a 25-gallon jar. And
She got her whole body stuck in it.
yeah.
I was down up to my neck, I think.
Yeah, we liked to.
Well, how'd you get her out?
Well, I had to ask, of course I had to go and ask Willie what to do, and he said, lay the jar down and have her to crawl out. So that's what we did. She crawled out when we laid the jar down.
I can remember it. I wanted some medicine when I got out.
How old were you?
But
I
yeah,
don't remember.
she was crying, and I was too.
We always took Pepsin, didn't we?
So,
And I said, I want to know some Pepsin.
yeah. She was feeling bad since she got out of the jar.
Where was Mom born? Were you born at Bennington?
No, out
Here? Or
west of, out by
Buck
Buck
Creek?
Creek, out west of Panama. Wasn't that?
Now, why is the spoon back
Oh,
there?
okay. That's out there close to where Arlie lives now.
Yeah,
Up over the hill from where Arlie lives now.
You know, we went out by there one time when you was here.
We're trying to figure it out. So you were 16 when Mom was born?
No, you wasn't hardly 16. I was born in February and you wasn't 16 till March.
So you're 15? Who'd you have there with you when Mom was born? Besides Grandpa? Who else was there to help out?
We had a doctor. We had a doctor, Dr. Collins from Panama.
From Panama? Who went to get him? You didn't have a telephone, you couldn't call him.
No, but they went after him on a horse or something. I don't know how.
Did he get there in time?
Huh?
Did he get there in time?
Oh, yeah. He ate peanuts, popcorn, and had plenty of time. There were 11 women there.
With you?
and the doctor.
Didn't you say they cooked a big dinner afterwards?
Yeah.
They celebrated when I was born.
Who were all the women?
Oh, it's Aunt Catherine, Miss Smith, and Pearl, Saki, and all of them that was around their clothes.
Were there any midwives?
My mama, no,
No.
they was just there.
Had they helped with births before?
No, they just
were wanted to see
just
what was
there.
going
That's
on.
the way people used to do.
Yeah.
They didn't go to help. They just went to, I guess, just to be an assistant, you know, to help if they needed. They cooked.
Moral support.
Yeah, that's what
That's what it was. Moral support. That's great.
So, it was real.
You had 5 babies at home, didn't you? All at home?
Were you there when the others were born?
No. I remember when Lavelle, my baby sister, was born, that Dad took us all up to our
She was 12.
grandma's.
She made her first cake.
We all, when Dad took us up there and left us,
To where?
to Grandma Hood,
Where did they live?
Brazil. And I wouldn't look at Lavelle for 3 days because I didn't like her. I didn't want to have another baby in the family. So they finally talked me into looking at her.
Why not? Why didn't you want to have another?
I don't know. It was just,
You were 12 when she was born?
yes.
Probably figured you had another one to take care of, huh?
So I helped take care of her.
How old was Troy Lee?
6. He was 6, wasn't he? Charlie was 6 when Lavelle was born.
6 and a half.
He always used to say, "Mommy, you like me? I still like you." When Lavelle
That was
born.
after Lavelle was
After
born.
Lavelle was born. He'd been a baby so long, he didn't think no one liked him anymore.
Was that good? Was that good, Larkin?
Oh, yeah.
What was your flavor?
Vanilla.
Vanilla?
Larkin, you don't have to be silly.
Wait, I need to go for a little bit. I need to go to the kitchen.
It's real hot and
What's
sweaty.
this?
It's pure hot tonight.
Well, I went in that bathroom and I just got sweating. It was like a
I
sauna.
I think you should turn that fire on. You can turn it on in the morning. It's too hot with that off on.
Yeah, it is hot. It is hot.
God bless you. Something going
What
round.
happened up there?
Shake your booty. Shake your booty. Shake your booty. You wait right there. I'm gonna be back in a second. Then take my place. Stay there. I mean it too. Did I be second bed? It'll be big. I get in there. Put it up. Da da da.
have fun.
Da 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 da.
Does anybody else want to tell any stories?
Hey, are you still there? Oh, good.
You remember the first time we brought your daddy back here, he was 13 months old.
What happened?
Old.
It looks like what it does, it runs out. It's going backwards. Okay, let's stop.
Right now? Okay. We have 4 generations here in Oklahoma in this little house. This is my great-grandma, this is my grandma, that's my dad right over there. See? Me, Larkin Tackett. Now, on with our show. Who wants to talk seen the photo?
That's Grandma. Grandma can tell you what date it is.
When did it?
This is December the 29th.
Okay, this is a December 29th, okay, ma'am?
And where are we?
We are in Oklahoma City.
What
Poto, Oklahoma.
Poto, Oklahoma.
Poto, Oklahoma City.
No.
And you know what it's spelled as? Oklahoma.
Saturday night.
Yeah. Yeah, Saturday night. Here is the superintendent.
And this is the first time you've seen your great-grandma?
Me?
Like Benji.
Benji, is that right?
And this is the first time my little brother here has seen my great-grandma. You know that, guys? And gals. Bye-bye.
And tell them about when you saw her last.
Nikki's got 7 grandmas.
When Malcolm said it was about what?
That's great-grandma.
How old? How old was he?
She didn't hear you ask her.
How old was he?
78.
He was 78 when we saw him. So 78 years later.
No.
I'll soon be 79. 2 months.
70, what? 70 months old. What? 76?
She's 78 years old.
How old is Lachlan when Lachlan saw him?
How old were you when you first saw great-grandma?
How old was I when I first saw you?
You were about 9 months old.
Well, he was 9 months old. When my great-grandma saw me. So, see you later. We'll be on the next road. Happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary.
Yeah, we want to say that it was 73 degrees today.
Woo, I love you.
29th of
Woo,
December.
I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. And a happy
Summertime,
new
flowers
year.
blooming.
Larkin asked her.
Come here, Benji.
Yeah.
Sit in Grandma's lap. You guys be quiet. Let Grandma talk for a little bit.
So it's
Let great-grandma tell you something.
How long have you lived in this house?
30 years.
Tell us about your old farmhouse.
Well, I didn't like out there at first, but we did build a new house out there after Loretta married, and I really liked the house. It was really nice. We had and I hated to leave the cabinet, and Charles built the cabinet. Well, Ellen, I think, helped some on it. And they really did do a good job on that cabinet. It was all, well, just a big one. Then we had a real nice cellar. We had good neighbors. Of course, we did have some good neighbors here, but they're all gone now. Of course, we still got some neighbors, but they work, and they're not, you know, like the others was that passed away when we first moved here. But anyway, I like Poto, so.
Which was...
Did you move out to Bennington? Did you move to Bennington right after you got married?
Yeah,
So-
well, we lived at, just after we married, yeah, we lived up at Brad's Hill. We lived at Buck Creek when Loretta was
Oh,
a
that's
baby.
right. Oh, okay. But then the house that burned, how
Yeah,
long
it
did you,
burned there.
how long did you live in that house?
Oh, about 5 years. Then we moved to Bennington.
Go sit down.
And then we lived there 18 years.
Please.
Before we moved to Poto.
How did the house burn?
And,
How did the house burn?
well, I was outside of washing. And Lavelle, the curtains were down low. And Lavelle had lost a marble or a button or something, so she struck a match and she got the curtains apart. And when I looked, the Farr was coming out the door, and I hollered for LaBelle. So she came out. Some of them said, "Oh, I'd have whipped that kid." And I said, "Oh, no, we was too proud she got out of there. We didn't whip her."
Where were the other children?
They were in school. We'd bought a lot of new clothes. Loretta had a new coat, and she wanted to wear it to school, but that day she didn't. And of course, everything burned, almost everything. We got out something. We had a big, nice Victrola, the only one in the country, and I got it out of the house and off of the porch, and still it burned up.
Wow.
So I said that, you know,
It was quite a experience to come home and get inside of the house and no house there, just ashes.
but we had good neighbors. I said, a lot of times things happens like that make you appreciate your neighbors. So Nadine Hill, Mother and Daddy lived just across the field, and we went to their house and stayed all night. Then we got a house to go to, and it was, so they moved in an old house there, and we had lots of meat. Oh, we just had fruit, and all of it, you know, was destroyed. And all of our new clothes. I bought a new machine. It was burned up.
New sewing machine?
We got some of that meat out in big hams, and we sliced them and canned them. And but I said, we did realize that we had some good neighbors. And then we lived in that house. Well, I guess about 5 years, then we built a new one. That's the only new house I ever lived in. So we enjoyed that while we were there.
What about Grandma?
Huh?
What do you have to say?
Not much. I still think I'm dreaming to be here.
And then the day that Loretta married, I'll tell you about that. Eldon came in, and he brought Loretta home. She was working at Photo. So Eldon said that they were going to get married. So he took her back to Photo that night, and there was an old well over there in the field, and I said, "Lord, they could have run off in that well, and we'd never know it," because I said, I was so heartsick, because it seemed like California was on the other side of the world then.
And my daddy said, we showed him the marriage license, and Mother started crying. My dad says, "Now what's wrong with you? You want to go with them?" She knew that I was going to California. She was crying.
But California doesn't seem so far now.
He tried to make her feel better about it. He was always a jolly person.
That's what I told Dad a couple times, that him going to California was a lot bigger trip than me going to India.
Yeah.
I mean, at that time, that was a long ways away.
You know, used to, you thought it was just other side of the world.
Well, we took your daddy to the airport to head for India, and we took great-grandma to Fresno to come back home. But I was talking about us. It's a long way. And my mother looked at me and said, "That's not any farther. Don't seem any farther than you're leaving home and coming to California." Then we didn't have telephone. I couldn't call her. So it was 3 years before I came back home. That's when I brought your daddy. He was 13 months old. Brought him back to show him off.
I rode in the car when I was less than 2 years old, that whole trip. Who'd you come back with?
We came back with Matty Notice in a pickup. We drove it. We rode in the back of a pickup. Stayed, and then we stayed in Oklahoma a while and went back to California in a big old truck. with a tarp over it. And they must have been, I don't remember how many people was with it.
You rode in the back of the truck?
Now
It
that
would
was
have
a
drive,
hard
so-
trip, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
You rode in the back of the trip? I did. I was in the back of the truck?
Yes. And this guy called about a year ago that was one of the men that rode with us. And he remembered you, what a good little boy you was. And he was, well, he was 14 months old, I
I
guess.
was just a year old, just barely walking. It was in the back of the truck. Was there anything else in there? Like a blanket or what?
Oh, there was seats all along the sides for us to sit in, benches.
But you couldn't see out, could you?
Well, I think there was a strip across there that we could see out.
Well, how'd you stay warm at night? Did they just drive straight through?
Drove straight through, and I don't remember how we kept warm.
Did Dad have a car?
Yes.
You just paid to, you just pay to ride in that truck?
Yes, we gave him, so Eldon helped drive.
How much?
I don't remember.
No, that's from our first
That's been 40 years ago. How do you think I can remember all of that?
Well, shoot, that's a big trip though, coming home.
Sure was.
Well, when they married, Eldon had a car.
We've always had a car.
So,
But Maddie noticed, and
but
the
I
kids
don't know
was
why
there.
you just come back in that truck.
We came back with Maddie noticed.
Oh.
Came with them. They was in California, and Eldon wasn't working, and they wanted us to come back with them. So I was anxious to come home. I hadn't been home for 3 years. Left home, and first time I'd ever been away from home. Over two or three nights at a time.
What's your brother up, Benji? So how long did you stay that time?
I think we stayed about 3 weeks.
I don't remember.
It was in the summertime, though, I guess. Yeah, because you was born in August. It was in September.
I
for
get
the class.
September.
September 1944.
So that was night time to come back in.
Grandma, you said you didn't like the house out there. Where did you grow up? What kind of house were you in before you got married?
Oh, you mean
You said
before I married?
yeah. Where did you live out there too? Or?
Oh, yeah, we lived at Buck Creek. There.
But you just liked that house better than where Grandpa took you.
Well, it was okay. Well, in fact, the house that I lived in when we married were a real night home. It was a night home. And we had a lot of friends there. But then Willie and I moved in a big old house. And we stayed there by ourselves for a while, and then we moved in a smaller house.